Hello, welcome back to Lunchbox World. My name's Caroline, and if you're new to the channel, huge big welcome. Don't forget to subscribe. Now, this week's video is for all of you out there that have got fussy eaters, and especially for Claire at BBC Radio Wales. I was chatting to her on Friday at drive time, and we were talking lunchboxes and fussy eaters, and you can imagine we ran out of time. So this video is just with some more tips to really help you along the way. And also I did put a post on lunchboxworld.co.uk, so check the description box below because there's more tips over there as well. So let me share today my top 5 tips for fussy eaters. So as I said on the show, you know, we need to have a list of things that they like and things that they don't like. And I think the thing to remember as a parent is that this is right now. This is what they like and what they don't like right now. But things change, they go through phases. And, you know, this is... So the key thing with the list is that you want to make sure in the lunchbox every day that there's definitely something in there that they are going to eat. And I think the other thing is to remember to keep it in the framework of, look, this is one of the 3 days that they're going to have that particular day, or it's one of the 5 across the week. So try not to stress too much. I mean, if they end up having, I don't know, some jam sandwiches one day, but then you've popped in other little bits and bobs, then I think that's okay. It's all about in moderation, and I think it's all about keeping the variety and just kind of seeing this as, I'm jumping the gun because I've written these all down as separate tips and I'm sort of morphing them all into the one. So yeah, I mean, tip number 2 is that kids have phases, and this was the biggest learning for me, that one week they'll like something, the next week they won't. Or Johnny in the classroom, he has something and then suddenly, oh, I love this, you know. And I think as parents, we've just got to be adaptable. We've just got to flex. We've just got to bite our tongue. We've just got to try and roll with it, but not to the extent that we make a rod for our own back even. You know, and I tried to just see it as a bit of a game, a bit of a challenge, that I could pack a lunch that they're going to eat. And don't get me wrong, I know life is super busy. You've got loads of, you know, if you're juggling other kids as well, like I was, basically once my third came along, you know, if I didn't do what I suddenly thought of in that 5-minute window, that's it, the time was gone. So I know how busy things can be. And I think, you know, we've just got to see this as a journey, and, you know, that we're not gonna crack it overnight. And, you know, I think it's just important as parents that we just keep guiding them, keep exposing them to different flavours, to different tastes. And I would do that more at home, weekends, things like that, rather than in their lunchbox, because, you know, what you don't want to do is send them in a lunchbox with totally unfamiliar foods and they just like, what is this? And they just slam it shut and they don't have anything for lunch. I mean, we don't want that. We want them to, you know, eat their lunch, or eat, you know, part of their lunch, stay hydrated, concentrate to the end of the school day. And, you know, we want happy, healthy kids that thrive in life. I mean, that is my ultimate goal, and it's always been my goal with my kids, and I'm sure it is for the same for you as well. So, and to remember, you know, this is not personal. This is not a personal attack on us, although I know at times it can feel like they've got it in for me this week, or, you know, what have I done wrong? You know, but I think also it's important to establish the boundaries, and, you know, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable for the way they talk to you and things like this, but I'm digressing. So, number 3, the rule of 10 times. Now, I've taken this from Annabelle Carmel. If you want more details of this, the post that I wrote over the weekend is in the description box below, so you can read more about it. But actually she's revised it to 15 times. It can take as long as 15 times. So this rule is that basically you have to try the foods 10 times, not in the same sitting, but over a period of time. You know, you've really got to give it a chance before you can categorically say, do you know what, me, I really don't like Brussels sprouts. I've tried them over and over again over the years, something about them, I don't know. So the key thing is to just kind of keep exposing them to those foods, whether it's first off, you know, they've just got to see it because it's totally different. I don't know, it could be the colour, it could be the texture, you know, and then you want to encourage them to put it on the plate, and maybe it just sits there, maybe they don't actually eat it that time, you know, and then another time it might be that they actually sort of smell it. You know, and it can be a really slow, drawn out process. But I think the thing is, we've got to see this as, you know, the kids are born as a blank canvas, you know, and they will model us, they will pick up on our opinions, our thoughts, things that we say, how we behave, subliminally, you know, subconsciously, they will pick up on these things. And, you know, I think it's our role as parents to help guide the child to, you know, so that when they come to, I don't know, go out for dinner. I mean, you know, my kids have been to prom, and I wanted to make sure that whatever was on the menu, that they had some knowledge of this, or if they, I don't know, go out to parties or whatever it might be, or ultimately go off to uni or college or whatever, that you've kind of equipped them and set them up so that they have got this wide repertoire of foods, and that they know how to cope in any given situation that life throws at them. That's always been my mantra, and it still is today. So yeah, I think, you know, number 4 is to just encourage them to try new things. I would definitely, you know, do this more in the home rather than in the lunchbox, as I've said before, and to see this as, you know, a marathon, and, you know, we're setting them up for, you know, when they're 18 or whenever they, you know, leave home, and that we've just got to keep chipping away at this and guiding them and things. And I mean, if you think back yourself to when you were, say, I don't know, 2 or 3 years old, can you even remember what foods you liked or disliked at the time? I can't. And I know, you know, I hear stories of some with toddlers and they're really defiant and they push back and they refuse, but ultimately they're not, you know, in 2 years' time or even maybe 6 months' time, they're not going to remember. They're not. And so I think we've just got to keep this in mind, be non-confrontational, you know, encourage, you know, meals around the table. And I know I'm not talking specifically about the lunchbox here, but just generally, you know, our relationship to food and our relationship with our kids and things. And, you know, we want them to have a good variety. And ultimately, number 5 has to be staying connected. And I know this is an increased challenge in the world that we live in with technology. You know, we have rules where there's no no phones, no devices at the table. You know, we sit down, we have a meal together, we chat, you know, and they tell me about their school day or whatever. And, you know, it's all about keeping talking, keeping communicating, and keeping that connection going, because as they go through the school years, they will, or you will feel that you're becoming less and less connected with your child just because of the contact hours that you have with them on a day-to-day basis. And it's just so important to keep that dialogue going, and you know, just for them to know that you're there as a parent, you know, that you are there to help guide them. And ultimately, you know, you're the one that does the food shop at the end of the day, aren't you? You're the one that goes and buys things. So, you know, it's all about choices, isn't it? And so anyway, if you like what you've heard here, there is loads more on lunchboxworld.co.uk, so check the description box below. And also I've linked to the BBC News online article that came out last week as well. And, you know, I just wanted to remind you that, you know, we as parents have got this, you know, and these are just some of the challenges that are presented to us. And it's, I think part of it is also how we respond to it and how we navigate it, because kids will pick up on this as well. So as I say, if you like this, subscribe to the channel. Give us some feedback as well. If you want to know more, if you want more videos like this, I have actually got some courses where I talk more in depth about this. They're a self-paced course, it's all video based, so whenever you've got 5 minutes of time, you can dip in and watch the next module. And, you know, I am here to help you, and, you know, ultimately it's all about staying connected with our kids, being the best parents that we can, within, you know, what's possible for us. And also I think there's so much pressure, so many external you know, society, social media, you know, everyone's portraying their perfect lives, and actually, you know, we as parents, as humans, we need to do whatever we can to stay on track and do what we feel is right for us, for our families, for our kids. So I really hope you found this useful, and if you did like this video, I really think you're going to like these ones next. See you in the next video. Thanks for listening.